Probably a 5G light pole right there, I bet. This big light pole, look at this thing. They like did something to it. That's a 5G right there. The crayon on a stick. I'm serious. I got pictures of that. Yep. So we're just leaving the meeting, and of course, there's a new 5G transmitter on the light pole over here. These things are going up everywhere in Los Angeles. There it is, folks. That is a 5G device. 5G utilizes millimeter wave technology. Today is April the 5th, 2019. Before I cover our main topic, I first want to address some of the comments that were left in yesterday's video. What I am about to say is not being said out of rudeness or some kind of superiority. I understand that this 5G issue is very new to everybody, including myself. I have only learned this material in just the last year, and I continue to learn every day. But there is a lot of ignorance on display in the comments of my videos when I talk about 5G. And the first thing that I want to cover is the smartphones. Your smartphone is not 5G. It's not even possible yet. And what I have on the screen is actually the newspaper from yesterday's video. I didn't cover this in yesterday's video because I didn't find it relevant. But it's relevant right now. And they're talking about AT&T. And it says, the company later took heat from its competitors as well as customers for a decision to rebrand its existing wireless service as 5GE. And the E stands for evolution. That is not 5G. And if you watch TV and you see the commercials, from time to time you'll see AT&T ads promoting 5GE. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know if they're trying to acclimate us to 5G. I don't know if they think they're getting one up on everybody. But the AT&T 5GE that you're probably seeing on your phones, that is not 5G. And another way that I know that your smartphone is not 5G is based on this article that just came out today. The first 5G phone. The world's first 5G phone is in our hands from just 2 hours ago. So this is the first phone in the entire world that operates off of 5G. So your phone that you bought last year is not hooked up to the 5G. And if you scroll down, it talks about how you need a special attachment to make the 5G even work. And that was discussed in yesterday's video. So if you don't have any of this, then you are not hooked up to 5G via your smartphone. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is your home internet. None of you have home internet powered by 5G, unless you voluntarily signed up for a special program. And I'm guessing you didn't do that if you are opposed to 5G. So if you turn on the Wi-Fi, I know a lot of you at home are seeing this 5G on your internet. This is not the 5G. I have been seeing this for almost 10 years now. This 5G stands for 5 gigahertz. This 2G stands for 2.4 gigahertz. Now, I don't use Wi-Fi, that's why it was turned off. My internet is wired in. But this person right here, this Netgear 99, and this Netgear 99 5G, this is the same person. They have 2.4 gigahertz internet, which is the standard internet, and they have the 5 gigahertz internet if they want to use a faster connection. That's what this is. This is not 5G. So none of you have 5G smartphones or 5G home internet. And besides, if you don't have those small cells I showed at the beginning of this video on top of the light poles, if you don't see those anywhere near where you live, then there's no 5G where you live. And as we just learned, well, assuming that they're telling the truth, those small cells are still turned off all over the country except for Chicago and Minneapolis. All right, on to our main story. Finally, sorry for that long-winded introduction, but I think it's really important that you understand that information. Brussels becomes first major city to halt 5G due to health effects. And here's what it says. Great news. A Belgian government minister has announced that Brussels is halting its 5G plans, at least for now, due to concerns about health effects. The statement was made by Celine Freemalt, the minister of the government of the Brussels Capital Region, responsible for housing, quality of life, environment, and energy. And here's what she said. I cannot welcome such technology if the radiation standards, which must protect the citizen, are not respected, 5G or not. The people of Brussels are not guinea pigs whose health I can sell at a profit. We cannot leave anything to doubt. Meanwhile, in America, the telecom companies are saying we have to push this out as fast as possible so we can make a pile of cash. That was stated in yesterday's video. Ms. Freemalt accurately identified that a 5G pilot project is not compatible with Belgian radiation safety standards, and stated that she does not intend to make an exception. However, many government agencies still only consider thermal effects, instead of the cumulative body of thousands of peer-reviewed scientific studies. Perhaps with Brussels heading up the European Union, and with one of the two major 5G appeals being addressed to the EU, officials there are better informed and motivated to protect themselves. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I find it very interesting that Brussels, of all places, where the European Soviet Union is seated, is the only place in Europe saying no to 5G. Just the way Palm Beach, Florida, where President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago is located, is also saying no to 5G. Just the way Israel is saying no to 5G as they develop it in their country. So Brussels says that we can't have 5G because we don't want our citizens to be human guinea pigs. But meanwhile, over in the United States,
5G says no longer. In fact, all you need are small cells inside the city, and we can light up these buildings here as well, right? And then as you move to Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi deployed in these buildings all over the place, so customers moving in and out of a Wi-Fi arrangement. You can see the old big cell technology sitting on top of buildings, broadcasting throughout the city. But down on the street level, the customer is being put on whatever network gives them the fastest speeds. This could be an autonomous car, it could be any number of things. And so as the car moves, it gets moved back and forth between the networks into another 5G deployment, and you're getting these kind of multiple gigabit speeds throughout cities without all the fiber having to be deployed into all these buildings. It really accelerates it, makes us get to the market much faster.
So 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you couldn't have even imagined
Wouldn't have
this.
thought about it. No, sir, we would not have. And this is 2018. We'll deploy in this kind of configuration. The companies in here are. And in 2020, it becomes mobile. And so this handset would be getting these speeds.
So there has to be a tremendous construction saving too, ultimately.
It's a huge construction saving. You don't have to deploy all this fiber. And you see this little cell site here. You're going from deploying these big cell sites and towers to deploying these all over cities. That's what Marcelo is going to show you, what this technology looks like now.
So, Mr. President, if I can summarize 5G, is $275 billion of investment in the next 7 years, the creation of 3 million new jobs, and a contribution of $500 billion to the GDP of the United States. What is different between 4G and 5G? 4G, those were enormous towers that looked quite ugly. We're going to move to deploy millions of this, hundreds of thousands, and then millions of small cells all over the United States. The problem that we have is it takes us 1 year to get a city to give us a permit, but it takes us 1 hour to install them. And unless we can install them real fast, we're going to lose that leadership that we have today. Those huge towers, all it is now, is just a small cell. You put this on the utility poles, you put it in the cable strands, and that's all we need in order to enable. So when people ask about 5G,
But they're mostly local permits you need?
basically we run into trouble with cities, municipalities, counties. Each one has its own idea of how much they should charge, how long should it take.
How much is a federal permit? How long does that take you?
Well, this mainly we go down to the cities.
Local.
We're working quite well with
You
the
have
FCC.
individual problems with certain cities.
There's some cities that takes 30 days, there's some cities that takes 2 years, so it's impossible to deploy.
Welcome to the world.
So this is why we need to fix this. And that's what 5G, when everybody talks about 5G,
Well, we can do a recommendation to the cities all over the country to get it going, and Gary, maybe they can move it faster. because this is truly a great process. But why don't we do a very strong letter of recommendation so they can get it done much faster? And we're doing that all over the country. You know what we're,
Shot
you know what
clocks, the FCC at one time put in place to deploy these kind of cell sites.
Yeah.
Shot clocks. You have 180 days to get a permit done, or say no permit. Something similar is going to need to be done.
Well, we're doing that with highways. It would take sometimes 15 to 20 years to get permits to build a small road or a highway. And we are going to bring it down, trying to bring it down to 1 year, maximum 1 year. And you have the same thing. This is much easier.
So
This is really much easier, believe me.
the US is a leader in 4G. We launched 3G. And every country, China, Europe, is basically streamlining the process to get there
So
faster.
this will be going into many other countries. By other companies, by you, by whom?
We only operate in the US, and our goal is to basically, we want the US to lead 5G because of the speed, because of the job creation.
You will if you can get your permits.
Absolutely.
China has much less trouble getting permits, okay?
The centralized government. Thank you, Mr. President. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.